Welcome, welcome, welcome back to AG University Podcast. It is I, your host, your professor at ANNAGRACE Newell on all major platforms and now at AG University on Instagram and TikTok as well. But I am so excited to have you guys back for season 3. I cannot believe that we already have 3 seasons under our belt. It feels like I just started AG University as a whole, much less the podcast. And now we're in the event space, slowly but surely tiptoeing. And you guys, y'all have been hearing me talk about that all of season 1 and 2, and it's happening. It's here. I feel so excited about kind of this new, adventure that you guys are on with me as well. So I never know exactly where ticket sales will be at by the time this is airing, but keep checking back because September 14th, we've got our back to school party. We also have Costa Rica and Bali, my 2 international retreats that are going live this year. And I also just had a friend who just got back from Bali and she said it was the best place. She's traveled all over the world. And she said it was her absolute favorite place that she's been and like the best retreat that was ever run. So I'm like, that is a big statement. And so anyways, it just got me so excited. I feel like it's really going to be the trip of a lifetime. And I want you guys to be there with me. So like I said, if any of these things are sold out, keep checking back because life happens. Sometimes people have to cancel. Sometimes more tickets will become available. You never know. So keep checking. And if you're going to be there, I cannot wait to meet you and see you and kiss your little face because, yeah, it's just going to be so fun to meet all my dancing yous. Realistically, this upcoming summer will be the last time that I run a trip of those caliber. So maybe like so long in advance and like so far away, like Bali. I'm getting older and my priorities are shifting a little bit, starting to think a little bit more in the family planning realm. So there'll still be events, there'll still be other things local, but for the big faraway retreats that are so magical and beautiful, and it's just so good to be taken out of your environment. Those are looking a little bit, just the ones that I have to offer right now are probably what I got to offer for a while. So come on, come on. Love you guys. Okay, so today we're going to do something a little different on the podcast. I'm going to talk about updated morning routine. I don't think I've shared my morning routine since like maybe the end of season 1, maybe season 2 a little, just kind of things that I'm loving. I want this to be just a light little touch base for kind of like what's going on. I personally love to know the interweavings of people's life. I don't watch vloggers mostly because I just really just don't have a whole lot of time to play on social media. I wish I did, but I don't. But I totally get the allure because if I am watching a vlog, I'm sucked in. I'm like, what are they drinking? What are they doing? I want to know all the details. So fascinating. So I always like to share just kind of like updated habits, routines, rituals that I'm into or whatever I'm loving. I personally change them like I would say every 3 to 4 months, kind of with the seasons. My morning routine will look different. Like there are some core fundamentals that I feel like always stay, but I switch it up just depending on whatever season of life that I'm in. And I want to extend that invitation to you so that, if you're in a season of life where maybe your morning routine isn't feeling good, you're allowed to change it. You're allowed to switch it up and you're not like being quote unquote undisciplined or not following the plan, or you're allowed to look at everything that you're doing and be like, could I make this a little shorter, a little sweeter? Is there any way I can make this feel better for me in this season of my life? Because you are here to support you. You are your greatest support system, and you're here to do whatever makes you feel the best version of you every morning, every evening, whatever. Even if it's 3 simple things that are like your kind of your baseline for feeling good, just do those things. And that's it. And it can be that simple. I'm really in a less is more phase and a simplicity era where I'm really just trying to simplify my life and my rituals and my routines. So thanks for being on this journey with me. I guess you guys are just always on whatever journey I'm on against your will, but I do feel it's, helpful information. So I'm going to do things a little differently today. I'm going to, for the first time ever, open the Akashic Records live on the mic, saying my prayer. So oftentimes I will be channeling when I'm recording. I always set an intention for just like God, source, love, angels to flow through me and deliver a message of love, of peace, of comfort, of joy, whatever you need to hear, because I'm a vessel and I want to deliver a message that could potentially shift the energy of your day or bring you just comfort in some way, shape, or form, or Safety, I love that too. Just like a good, nice nervous system regulating message. I always want to encourage people to just like, relax into this life. It's meant to be fun. It's meant to be just a good old ride, right? So, anyways, I usually do that on every episode. However, today I'm going to actually read my Akashic Records prayer on the air. And I actually did a sale randomly. It was like a random ping that I had back in July. Obviously, the podcast was on a break, so I didn't promote it over here. But in July, I did a half off all of my courses sale just for funsies because I was like, why not? They're already created. It's my birthday. I also did a mini reading giveaway, which the giveaway winner has been selected. I'll put her page and like tag her and give her a little shout out on the AGU podcast page too. But I try to get reading giveaways every few months, for my birthday, for Christmas, just like a little happy so that we can all celebrate together. So much to celebrate. And I woke up one morning and I first marked off all of my courses 50%. And then the next day, it might have been, I don't know, later that day or the next day, I can't remember. I woke up and I was like, I need to do a discount on my Akashic Records course because they're on two different platforms. I later merged over to Kajabi for like my events and ticket sales and all the other stuff. So I only have Akashic Records on Kajabi. Anyways, that's why I did it separately. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to mark this off 50% and like completely forgot about it, put it away, like didn't look at it. And I like jaw dropped. Like hundreds of people somehow felt the call and came into that course. And I was so excited because I've genuinely made that course so no pressure. Like I didn't make it. Of course, yeah, everyone, you want to sell a course when you make a course, but I just made it because I was like, I just want people to have access to this information because it's personally impacted my life so tremendously. But I never put pressure on myself to sell it. Honestly, I actually forget to talk about it all the time, but like I just kind of know that people are going to find it if they're meant to find it. And like, even if you're listening to this podcast, like I always tell people, this is pretty niche content. You're meant to find it. You would not have been led here if you weren't supposed to learn about the Akashic Records. And everyone can learn how to read them. Everyone can access them in some way, shape, or form that is, I don't know, in tune with their body. Like there's a lot of different ways to access the Akashic Records, but everyone has the ability and everyone has an Akashic line. So you're here, you got the gift, you can tune in, you can tap in, you've got an Akashic line, and everyone has an Akashic record. Anyway, so I created the course. All of these people somehow must have woken up and got the call because I had so many people that took the course and I had so many amazing reviews. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start sharing my prayer this season. I've kept it like very near and dear to me because it's a prayer that I personally channeled in my Akashic records because I learned obviously from other teachers. And I don't know, I guess I just never shared the prayer publicly on the podcast because I wanted people to like know how to like use it before I just started sharing it. And there is I would say there's about a 7-part video on like how to access the records, what I do before, all the things before saying the prayer. And it's in every single show notes of every single podcast, the How to Read the Akashic Records course. So it's always there. If you feel the call, amazing. But in the meantime, I'm going to read the prayer to you guys. And it's just really coming with a disclaimer that if you haven't taken the course, maybe don't just like willy-nilly use the prayer without reading the guidelines around it. That's the short end of it. However, it is a beautiful prayer and I'm so proud of it. I'm going to read it to you guys and I'm just going to open up the records right now live and channel a message through and we're just going to see. I literally never know. Every day I open the records and you never know what's going to come through. It's always a nice little surprise. My prayer is called The Pathway to Cosmic Delight. So I believe that every teacher, every Akashic Records reader and practitioner who creates a course or just accesses with their own frequency. And my frequency has always been a frequency of play and like love and delight. And so I'm obsessed with the title that came through to me because I just don't think I would have, I don't know, I guess I wouldn't have thought of it myself. The records came through and said, this is your prayer. So it's called The Pathway to Cosmic Delight, which obviously this is AG University is a school from the cosmos. Okay. The prayer is a little long. There's going to be one part where I pause and just bear with me because you'll know when I'm done. And you always say a name. So whenever you're going to connect with an energy, you always say a name. So for example, like I would say, I wish to connect to ANNAGRACE Newell. typically when I'm opening my records. When I'm opening the records for you guys, I'm going to say AG University podcast. So here we go. I'm just going to take a little grounding breath into my space. Feel free to join me. I love a midday, mid morning, wherever you're at in your day, breath in through the nose, hold at the top, big exhale. Let's do a little shoulder roll, little shimmy, little shake. And we're going to get into our prayer. I call upon love. I call upon greatness. I call upon the ancient wisdom above. I call upon ancient wisdom to connect me to AG University podcast highest purpose. Through the Akashic Records, I understand our pathway. Through the Akashic Records, I invoke the violet flame. Through the Akashic Records, I shift and I see through the lens of love, for I know I am guided from above. In these messages, I am rooted in love. In these messages, I am rooted in transparency. With these messages, I am connected to universal teachings. With these messages, I am connected to one path, one freedom, and one love. I call upon the legions of light and all of my beautiful angels who shine ever so bright, entrusting you to connect me to the highest version of AG University podcast. Allow me to connect to AG University podcast in the light of the Akashic Records. Invite me in to see AG University podcast through the lens of love and the Akashic Records. Allow me to free AG University podcast from any identity other than love through the Akashic Records. I now invite in my angel guides of the Akashic Records. I am now immersed in the divine grace of the Akashic Records. I step into this light with surrender on my side, and so it is. I have arrived. Let there be light. So the first word that I'm seeing for you guys is motion, motion, motion. It's like a repeating kind of almost like an ocean-like movement of this motion that's really coming into your life. And they're saying like kind of like the ocean in the sense that it's powerful, but it's also contained maybe, or like rippling feels like a better word. Like it's coming at you powerfully, but like in a way that you can really handle it, in a way that feels you're ready for this. Like you have the gifts, you have the discernment to know all of these opportunities that are coming to you, coming to you, like this forward momentum that's coming into your auric field. You have the ability to discern what it is that I actually want right now, what it is that I'm actually here to do. Because maybe in the past, there has been opportunities that have come to you where you felt like kind of willy nilly, or like, should I do this? Should I do that? And like, I don't know, is that actually what's like the highest version of me? And maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Here's the thing, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. They're saying to let go of any of these stories or things that we hold on to, these identities where we beat ourselves up, or we think about, oh, that was embarrassing, or oh, this was that, or this was this, or I could have done it this way, or it should have looked that way. It does not matter. It doesn't matter. So the more that you can really tune in to your autonomy, that's where we're coming from right now, is autonomy, kind of that like sovereignty, like calling our power back into our space. And when we are in our space, when we are aligned, they're literally showing me that that is the energy of regulation. When we are in our own autonomy, it means like we're in our own energy space, in our own auric field. We're not allowing these messages or these stories. Maybe it's even stories that we've made up from the past, or messages from other people or anyone around us telling us what we should or shouldn't do. And that's how we really reclaim our power in this season of life. This energy coming, moving to you, moving through you, coming powerfully. Opportunity, excitement, beautiful things. Yes, absolutely. But what we're doing in this season and why we're ready for it now, and maybe we weren't ready in the past, is because we have the discernment to know what is actually best for us. So trust your guidance system, and know that you have been up leveled to this point. You are not the same person that you were months ago, weeks ago, days ago. Every single day is a new, fresh start. It's an opportunity for you to let go of that dialogue that we all have because we are human and because it's part of our journey. We cannot eradicate those behaviors. It will always be there. But now we have this gift to discern our highest version of self, and you know what it feels like. You have felt this before, and this feels very important. It's like they keep saying, like, you have felt this. Think of a time where you have felt really, really guided or aligned with your highest self. Think of when you have connected with your highest self or source or love or God or whatever. And how did it feel in the body? And connect, connect, connect. They're like, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Like, that is the key. You know what it feels like. You felt it before. And so going forth into this new season where there's kind of lots of momentum and movement coming at you, get excited about this. It's not meant to overwhelm you. It's not meant to throw you off course. You cannot fall off course. We will not allow you to fall off course because you are always, always guided. And when I speak in the we presence, I mean your angels, your guides, your ancestors, your loved one, whatever collective force of love that you relate to or you connect to, you are guided. You cannot fall off. You cannot make a mistake. You cannot take a wrong turn. And you know the way. Your intuition is stronger every single day. And I want that to become a mantra for you guys today. My intuition is stronger every single day. Every single day I wake up in the morning, more in tune, more tapped in. I know I can trust myself because I know what it's felt like to have been guided. At some point in my life, I can identify that feeling and I trust that feeling. I trust my body. I trust my inner guidance system. I trust my knowing. I trust for beautiful beings to guide me where I'm going. God, universe, love, source. I trust in my vocation, my destiny, my purpose, my path. I trust that it's all working out for me. Okay, honestly, love that message so much. I really just closed my eyes and just kind of let it move through my body. And hopefully it will connect with someone. I sort of forgot, honestly, the first half of what I said because I just tried to remove myself from like scrutinizing anything and just letting it flow through me. So, but I kind of forgotten that I've shared that before of being able to connect with like a past experience of when you felt something really connected or intuitive or a hit or a ping. And that's how you can bring that energy into your everyday life. That's how you can always really just strengthen your guidance system, your intuition, your intuitive voice, and know there is a difference and know, yeah, you're always guided. I mean, I feel like that's something I've been saying a lot and it's been coming up a lot lately, but I also feel like the summer was a time for rebirth and there was a lot of moving and pulling and stretching and uncomfiness. And now, okay, yay, we've up leveled into this new space collectively because I do believe we are all one, right? We all come from this same singular God. So, of course, we're going to experience things as a collective energy. You know, I know, yes, we all have different stories. We're all in different pages and different chapters in our books, but we can experience certain things because even the energy of a year carries a certain energy where we're existing right now in 2024 together. There are things that lessons planted and little points of activation in our life that we are meant to experience together. That's just part of the human experience. So I really do believe that that rebirth is leading us into a lot of this like motion. I was just seeing so much forward motion, kind of like a pulsating. It was hard for me to describe a little. Sometimes what I'm seeing, it's a little hard for me to translate because I'm like, it's like an ocean, but it's forward energy, but it's powerful, but it's not too powerful, but you're ready for it. But I'm sure that anyone that heard that message, because I opened the records with your energy summoned into this space, that it'll land and it'll make sense to you in some way, shape, or form. So I always trust that. And all of the messages from the Akashic Records are timeless. Time is not linear. It's not as human. Like we've kind of really made up time in our own planet a little bit. Like we're all like, all right, today is noon. It's noon and we're gonna eat lunch. And like we just kind of made up these things to make, our life literally more digestible for everyone to be on a certain time frame. But I don't think time is quite as laid out as we think it is, and that's okay. It honestly just makes being human a little easier. Nothing wrong with that. But just get excited for all of these beautiful things that are coming, and some of the hardships or maybe tough times that you've been going through really feel like they're coming to an end. I really feel like we're stepping into a way lighter, brighter season. And I always feel like the Lionsgate portal brings that pivot, brings that shift. There's a little of that Leo energy stepping out and being seen. So I'm going to go ahead and actually, I'm just going to leave the records open. Typically, you will say a closing prayer. And the closing prayer, of course, is I'll read it to you guys. And of course, in my course, and I go through and explain each line of what everything means. Just if you guys have any questions at all, it's always there. I'll say the closing prayer maybe towards the end, and I'll just leave it open if anything else comes through. But in the meantime, I wanted to share a bit of my updated morning routine because I used to be doing the most. Not really. I feel like I've gone through like every year of my life of a little bit less, a little bit less, a little bit slower, a little bit of this. But 30, coming into 30 was like my year of truly getting grounded. I was last year kind of in the early morning like workout before I get my day going habit and routine, and maybe it served me for a while, but then after I sort of had the autoimmune stuff flare up, I was like, you know what's, I'm going to prioritize my sleep over literally everything, because at my core I know myself and my sleep is just everything. Like some days if I wake up too early, it's just like my whole day feels just it's just a drag, and yeah, I don't want to feel that way. So I'm like, you know what? If I have to sleep a little longer, it's okay. And this is your permission. This is your sign. You're allowed to take a break. You're allowed to take a nap sometimes. It's okay. The world is not going to pass you by and you won't get fired. I promise. I know some people have stricter daytime um, I don't know, places they have to be in the morning, maybe as I don't. But still, there are certain things, just like staring at social media and staring at devices and all that kind of drains our energy too. So it's just good to be cognizant. If some days you can't get your good sleep, just be a little more protective of your energy, because our little battery can get drained in those ways. So for me lately, after I went through my whole healing era, I kind of went through like this summer where I was like, I started oscillating back into like balance, because I was like all clean beauty, all clean products, all clean this, all clean food, no gluten, no this, no coffee, no blah, 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 blah. And that to me just, I started feeling really unhappy. Like nothing was really exciting me because I had put all these parameters around it. And anytime I go into the Akashic Records and I'm like, well, what do you think about this? Or like, should I do this? And they're like, girl, you are literally making up all of these like limitations and you're putting yourself in this box that has to be really strict. It doesn't have to be that strict. It's the energy around it and it's your intention of how you're using it. And I was like, oh, okay. So this summer, I really like loosened the grip after I got my blood work back and it was all good. And I kind of learned my lesson that I was just really stressed out. My nervous system was wanting me to slow down. And I listened to my body and I did a few detoxes and I was like, okay, did I just go back to like doing everything I was doing before? No, but I didn't want to be that hardcore because I really feel like there's a balance. And I really do feel like it's not always about the thing, the like, the gluten or the dairy or the whatever. I think it's also, there's a dance with like where your body is at and your nervous system and your stress load. Like it's all a dance. It's a mind, body, spirit tango. And I really got into a place of being like, I don't want to be quite as strict. We're going to just kind of flow. And then the universe punted me even further into that because it was like, okay, we didn't have our house. We didn't have this. We didn't have that. There was no routine, everything out the window. And so what I did was I was like, you know what? It's just okay. I'm going to prioritize my sleep. I'm going to get a lot of rest. I need sleep. I know that. On my bachelorette party, Austin, they interviewed Austin and like made a video and then showed it to me, which is such a cute idea. I've saved it to my bachelorette party highlight. If you guys have any brides in your life or you want some inspo, I shared the questions. I do need to share the question to my AGU page. They're like, Austin, in your own words, please describe the Akashic Records. And his answer was actually pretty good. It was pretty funny though. But they were like, what is one thing AG could never ever live without? And Austin was like, so there's really not a material item. Like I think she could live without everything, but she really couldn't live without her sleep. Like I do not mess with AG in her sleep. And I was like, it is so true. Sleep is it is my everything. So anywho, I've been sleeping. Okay. I've been sleeping at least 9 hours a night. And I know that is a gift for where I'm at this point in my life, that I have the space to do that. Yeah. But I make it a priority and I schedule my whole entire life around like winding down early in the evening to get into bed if I have to. But most nights it's pretty easy because we put Zane to bed early and he's back in school. So we're all kind of in a good rhythm. Am I getting up to wake up and go to the gym early right now? Absolutely not. No, I am not. Since I took a lot of things off my plate, I'm going to work out now around like 9 or 10 versus like getting up and like forcing myself to do it in the morning. Austin's kind of been working out a little bit in the evening. Like, you know what? At a time that feels optimal for you, go for it. But right now, I have been waking up. I would say my wake up time is 8 a.m. It's not early, but you guys, I was in a healing phase. Okay. So I needed it. I know everyone's like, dang it, I have to get up way earlier, but that's okay. I wake up then. From there, I immediately go to the bathroom. I do my tongue scrape, which is an Ayurvedic practice on a lot of the gunk and bacteria and things that our body works to purge overnight on the tongue. And then like, you don't want to like drink water and just immediately swallow it because our body worked hard to get that kind of pumped out. I do a tongue scrape. I go into my room. I put on I have interviewed the founder of Superhuman, Mimi Bouchard, a couple times on our podcast or on this podcast. We've done a few together, but Superhuman is my favorite, like high vibrational, kind of like almost listening to music in the morning. The latest ones she's uploaded have been so good. There's been like a new music guy come in and it is so motivating. I feel like I'm the main character of my morning, but I'll put that on and it'll be like a morning pep talk. I put that on and I listen to it and say the affirmations out loud while I'm making my bed. I always try to habit stack with making my bed. Sometimes it's oil pulling. I haven't been into the oil pulling as much. Oil pulling is amazing. It really is. And I should. But you know what? I haven't been doing it lately. It's okay. We're in our relaxed era. But I try to habit stack while I make my bed. So I play a little Superhuman morning mantras, allow it to just flow in, play the music, dance around my room, say what I'm grateful for, say my prayers. I have a list. I'll actually link it in the show notes. I believe Superhuman's still doing their summer sale, which is up to 60% off. I'm going to put all of the information in the show notes. And I actually have a playlist that they made for me, which was really sweet, where I favorited all of my favorite meditations, anything from walking meditations, cooking, cleaning, all the things. I favored them and made them into a playlist, and Superhuman put it as a landing page so you guys can just check out all of my favorites. And you can literally try 2 weeks for free, by the way, 0 strings attached. It's awesome. Even if you listen to one of her activations every single day for 2 weeks, I feel like you can really get into such a good rhythm and a good flow for your day. So 2 weeks can make a change. Just try it. Check out all the information. It's always linked in my bio. Superhuman activations. She was originally like more of kind of like daily meditations, but then they rebranded to activations. Okay. Anyways, so I'll do that while I'm making my bed. Sometimes I'll even carry in listening to some type of an activation audio into my facial routine, which is very simple. I have a dry brush and I dry brush my face. That's kind of become my new way of lymphatic drainage and like sculpting my face without having to use as much oil. However, I still we ride or die for Living Libations. I've talked about them on this. Right now, they have a lip balm that is my hyperfixation. Oh my gosh, it is so good. It is like their mint lip balm. It is the best. It's like jojoba oil based. I think I'm saying that right. I never say that word correctly, but it's awesome. I'm obsessed. But just sometimes in the morning, like I try to stick with like oils and other things in the evening. In the morning, I really have gotten to where I love dry brushing because it exfoliates my face. You literally use nothing. You just take a dry brush and it's a mini facial dry brush. I learned about this on TikTok because gua shawing never really worked out for me. I always wanted to be a gua sha girly, but I don't know. Somehow my skin would end up getting angry or there'd be like bacteria on the gua sha and it just, I don't know, it didn't really work out. I also have a new face and I love that. But for the sake of keeping this simple and like it's $4 dry brush, I'll link the products in the show notes too. Literally none of this stuff is sponsored, by the way. I'm just telling you what I do. Dry brush my face. I like lift my eyebrows. I like you can absolutely raise your eyebrows if you have hooded lids. I used to be a way more hooded lid girly, and I feel like I've lifted my face. I do not get Botox. I just do facial massage, facial like I guess training. Like I do little exercises in the mirror. But yeah, I just dry brush my face and sometimes I'll just squirt a little bit of rose water, which is kind of like a natural organic toner. Everything that I use is super duper clean. And that's my morning routine. Boom. Go upstairs, drink my water, drink sometimes an electrolyte. Lately, I've been doing a FLAVCITY electrolyte, kind of like my new hyperfixation brand as well. I have partnered with them on my Instagram. They're literally zero affiliation with this podcast. So, like, if I didn't like them, I wouldn't mention them over here. I just want you guys to know how serious I take this podcast. But it's like the cleanest brand that I've been able to find of protein and electrolytes. And I put some of those electrolytes in my water. I can't remember my code right now. I'll put it in the show notes too. But I've been doing, they have like a lychee flavor. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I think it's so yummy and delicious and unique. I've been doing that in the morning lately. Try to switch up my electrolytes. Yeah, I just drink a big thing of water and then I'll usually make some type of a morning beverage, whether it's like I have a couple coffee alternatives that I rotate between. Again, none of these are sponsored. We've got Rue Brew. Sometimes I'll do a mud water, which is like more of a tea, a little herbier. Rue Brew is kind of like if coffee and hot chocolate had a baby. It's like a cacao base. So I like to do like a little heart opening moment. And Rue Brew does have caffeine, Mud Water doesn't. And I will cycle sync where I'm at in my cycle. So like if I'm about to start my period, I typically don't like to get myself too ramped up on any type of caffeine. There's been phases in my life where I've been like completely called away from caffeine. I have been enjoying it lately, no problems. I think my nervous system's just way more regulated, so it doesn't, get me too stressed or heightened or like go go go. Sometimes I just like it makes me work too hard. I'm like, I'm gonna do all these things. I'm gonna tackle 97 things today, and I'm like, ANNAGRACE, relax. So cycle syncing, I've talked about it. Just I try to be cognizant of where I'm at in my cycle. Typically follicular and ovulatory phase are most supportive for caffeine. Nothing wrong with enjoying it in your luteal phase. Just being kind of aware, like sometimes caffeine can heighten PMS or cramps or, just make you a little more on edge, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word, but you get what I'm saying. Okay, so after my morning beverage, I go down into my lair, which is this room that I'm in right now. Me on YouTube every Wednesday if you want to see the new space, but it's still kind of coming together brick by brick, baby. I come into my little room and it is normally I go on a walk outside. Let me tell you that. I think that's been my routine in here for a while. And it feels so good to start my morning walking outside. It is so mother freaking hot in Florida right now. I've barely been able to go outside because I melt. And it's not like the kind that you're like a sweat that feels good. It gives me like a headache when you start your day. You're already kind of dehydrated from being asleep. And then you just go outside and get pummeled in the heat. Austin's like, well, maybe if you woke up around sunrise. And I'm like, I just don't feel called to being up early right now. Maybe when I'm in a season, like a different cycle of life, sure, but I can't. And it's so hot that I'm not on my morning walks. And that's kind of one of my favorite ways to just like be off my phone and disconnect and like open the records and like walk around and do all the things. It's too hot. I haven't been able to really go outside. That will shift coming soon, but yes, that's the only reason that's kind of been on pause. My morning movement has shifted. Also, I forgot to say, I always do my morning energetic protection, which is kind of where I put myself in a little bubble, protect my energy for the day so I'm not absorbing energy. And I have a daily energetic protection bundle. I have like a free energy prayer, a free grounding meditation, all of that stuff always lives in the show notes. I know I'm saying show notes a lot, but I just want you guys to have all of these resources because it's the start of the new year, the school year, and I need you guys to have your curriculum, like all of your little supplies, your tools in order. So all that is always in the show notes, but I teach you how to protect your energy and I have an also extra energetic protection if you're traveling or if you're an empath or someone that feels you need extra energy, maybe just like protecting from coworkers or boss or people around you. Here's the thing: you can't get rid of everyone, and you can't be afraid of people's energy. And sometimes it just is what it is, but you have the power and the autonomy to protect your energy and to feel really good. And that's a little practice. Like I do, it takes 60 seconds every morning. I say a little prayer. I call in, my little bodyguards all around me, and I'm safe, I'm sealed, tuned into my auric field all day long. Love is all I'll feel. I have tons of prayers in all of my courses. So that's just a couple little easy ones that I say. And at the end of every single day, I always take a shower and say my shower cleanse prayer and send all the energy of the day down the drain. Every single day. It's a free prayer. That is a habit and a ritual that it's like so habit. I just sing my little prayer in the shower and then I get ready for bed and I sleep like a baby. So I haven't been walking outside because it's hotter than freaking you know what outside. I got this speaker the other day for actually the outdoor event, September 14th. Austin and I went on the beach. At first, I ordered this little tiny speaker and we went on the beach and I had a little headset. And Austin was like, "This thing is so weak sauce, bananas. I can't even hear you." And I'm like 10 feet away from you. And I was like, crap. I really like need everyone to hear me. It's important because I want to give them like the best, I don't know, instructions and like be able to do all the energy work and everyone can like hear me and know what's going on. So I went to the Guitar Center. You guys, the Guitar Center is low key poppin'. Like, thought it was gonna be like I don't know what I thought it was gonna be because I don't play the guitar. I'm not a musician, but I go in. There's like a live section, like for like live performers. It's like a disco ball. I went in and I was like, "Yo, I need a subwoofer. I need like a big, loud speaker that will mic up to my mini headset." And there was this really nice guy there who was just absolutely locked into my bullshit, and I was like, "Okay, put on a party playlist. You go over there." We were like 100 feet away from each other. We were pretty far apart. It's like a really big room. I was like, "You go over there. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to jump up and down on my headset and make sure it doesn't fall off. And you see if you can hear me." And he's like, "Okay, cool." I'm like, "Hold on. Let me put on a performance really quick for everyone at the Guitar Center." This man was here for it. He's like, "Okay." So I buy this speaker. Honestly, it was very expensive, but I was like, worth it. I'm going to use it. And I have plugged it in to our house. First, I come home, I'm wearing the headset, the subwoofer. Y'all, it's simply so loud. I'm actually really scared our neighbors are able to hear it. Fortunately, most of our neighbors right beside us travel a good bit. So I'm just praying they're out of town or something because I would hate to be a loud, annoying neighbor. We didn't play for very long, but Zane comes in and I'm wearing a headset and the speaker is like booming and he's literally like, "What is this for? What are you doing?" And I was like, Austin put on the mic, he's rapping, like we're just being so ridiculous. I was like, we honestly really should start doing talent shows. That would just be so fun, like in our house. Anyways, it's so loud and bumping, but like I love really loud music. It just gets me so hype. And this speaker, honestly, it's behind me right now. You can kind of see it on YouTube, but it's like actually no, it's like 2.5 feet tall, but it's so loud. It will vibrate your soul. And that's what I said. I was like, I want people to be able to feel the beat of the music on the ocean. Cause like, or on the beach. Obviously the ocean is like a lot of wind and stuff. So anyways, it's gonna be lit. But so in the morning, going back to my morning routine, I've had to move my movement indoors. I very I was very quick to cancel my gym membership and I was like, I love working out outside and like at our little neighborhood gym. And then July hit really, and I was like, it's too freaking hot. So I just have weights in my house. I have my little yoga mat, and I've been doing a hybrid where I turn on my giant speaker, make sure Austin doesn't have any Zoom calls, and I play music so loudly and jump around, do my breath work, do my somatic moving, do a dance. It really does kind of turn into like cardio hit, the like dancing. And it's just, to me, it feels like the best, like mind, body, spirit movement. I also have been doing another platform that I always give them a shout out is Evlo, EVLO. It is a weightlifting program that is all about gentle consistency and nervous system regulation. I've had Dr. Shannon and Dr. Peyton come on. It was founded by a physical therapist. I started doing that after I dislocated my shoulder because I was like, I really need someone with knowledge of physical therapy, and like I always just feel really safe and grounded doing their workouts. So I also have that platform that I can do from either my house or like our neighborhood has a gym. And another, like literally, you guys, 0% of this is sponsored. These are all just like products that have come into my just realm, and I love and use. And some people have been on the podcast, so you can always look them up or learn more about their story. But I just feel like I'm in a really good balance season, and like balance, I really feel is what I'm here to, I don't know, maybe help people with. I'm not even sure if that's the right term, but like dance and doing energy work in the morning and like, playing in the Akashic Records, all of that feels so like flowy and kind of feminine. And it's like tapping into pleasure, which is for me, dancing is such a place of pleasure. Like I enjoy it. And like I don't listen to anything. Like I listen this morning, I was listening to T-Pain radio. Like I listen to like any type of, it can be hip hop, it could be, sometimes it's more like spiritual music, but most of the time it's, I would say, like T-Pain or like Yin Yang Twins. Like I love like a 2000s rap playlist just to like twerk and shake and jump around. Kind of looks crazy, but honestly it just feels so freeing. So freeing. Like, when was the last time you gave your body permission to do whatever it wanted? We spend our whole life bossing our body around, and our body is its own little vessel. It's its own energy center. It has its own wisdom. We came into this body, and this body has wisdom. It knows what to do. So you honestly don't ever have to do anything that crazy. It can be really simple. You could turn on music for 3 minutes and just sway around before you do your gym routine. You'd be surprised at how good you feel just giving your body a few minutes to be like, hey, what do you need? Do you want to take a deep breath? Do you want to stretch a little? Do you want to like lay down and do like some shavasana? Like, what could we do that I let you dry for a minute before I get back to bossing you and being like, this is my gym split. You have to do this every single day. I have been really proud of myself for balancing having a good weight routine, because I really do believe having muscle and being strong is so important. Like right now, I really have been thinking, I'm like, by the time I get pregnant, whenever that is, whenever that's written in my story, after my retreats, I've got a little bit of time, but I'm like, I really want to start like training. Like, I want to be really strong during pregnancy. And like, that's been my why lately. So all of that needs to, I guess, maybe like come into your ears, because check your why. What are you training for? Like, why are you doing the things that you're doing? What could you do to support your body more? What could you do to, I don't know, take some stress off the body, to let your body express an emotion it wants to express? You'd be so surprised if you just sat with yourself for like 2 minutes, turn on some music, your body will tell you. It really will. Just most of the time, we don't carve out any time to communicate. We don't really check in with our body. We don't ask her or him or whatever, however you identify. You just check in, tap in, say, yo, what's up? How can I help you? What can we do together in this moment? I'll let you drive for a second before I just boss you around, because sometimes we be bossing. We try to control everything because we're trying to accomplish as much as we can. But just remember that we don't always have to. We can just take our freaking feet off the brakes and go slow. I had that reminder today. I had a couple things on my to-do list. It was like, reach out to this person. It was a contractor that needs to do something on the house. And I was like, I need to do this. I need to call this person and contact this person. And I said a little prayer this morning that was like, how can I, like, universe, can you please show me more ease in this process? And the two people that I was supposed to reach out to, who I haven't talked to in like a month on a house project, they both called me. And I was like, that is so weird that you called me, because I literally had that on my to-do list today. And I felt like the universe was like, girl, if you would just let us help you, we will help you. So just know you can always ask for help, and the universe can kind of ping the little people that you need to reach out to you, or whatever, whatever it is. There is always help available to you. So anyways, that really concludes the latest of my morning routines. I dance around and move. Sometimes I'll be like, hey, try to do this for 10 minutes. And then I'll end up like dancing and jumping around for 45 minutes and just doing breath work and breathing. And then I'll alternate in doing a 30-minute stint of weight training. I don't always do them like together, like back to back or anything, but some days I might just like dance around for a few minutes and then do like 30 minutes of weights. If I do like a lot of dancing, then I might not do as much weights that day. I just like do what I feel I have the energy for. And I just feel like lately I'm like, dang, I feel like I just am in a really good place with my body. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even like know, not even from like a physical appearance, just place. But I think when you're listening and you let your body drive, then like the physical appearance just kind of magically happens. It's weird. I don't ever want to put too much emphasis on the physical aspect of things because it's just not everything. Like I said, like my mentality is going into a phase of life where I'm like, oh, even if I don't give birth for like another 2 or 3 years, perfect. I've got 2 or 3 years to train. Not sure if it'll be that long, but like still, like that's my why lately. And I want to be strong for that whole journey because it is a journey. A woman's body is fascinating. It's so cool. So, anyways, just an invitation for you to come back in, check your why, check your morning routines, see how you're feeling. Those are all the things that I'm kind of doing and loving. Just while I'm here, what the heck? I'll give you like a little tiny teaser of my nighttime routine. If I want to be cutesy, I've been making some magnesium mocktails. I'm such a magnesium person. I do not take magnesium though right before bed. I take it like at least 2 or 3 hours before bed because it gives me crazy dreams. It makes my brain like really active, which actually I'm sure is good for you. Like I'm sure, I feel like my body gets in. It's like, yay, we're happy. But I went into the records and I was like, why am I having these crazy dreams? And it was magnesium sometimes before bed, too close to bed can give you kind of crazy dreams. I take two different types of magnesium. I take one that's a magnesium OM, and I believe that's by Moon Juice. And then I also take a magnesium by Symbiotica. Again, not sponsored, don't care. Use whatever magnesium works for you. Sometimes I'll make a magnesium mocktail and I'll mix it with a cherry vanilla Olipop and put it in a big wine glass. And that feels kind of fun and fancy. And I'll put like um, little, ice cubes in it and make it like a big, just yummy mocktail. Kind of while I'm cooking, like instead of drinking a glass of wine, that feels fun to me. But again, a few hours before bed, I would say I've just been really intuitive with eating. We eat simple meals. Like we'll eat a protein, a sweet potato, and a vegetable. We're pretty simple. Some days we'll spice it up and do like breakfast for dinner or stuff on the grill or make burgers or whatever. But I would say like at our core, we're pretty like, or I love like a rice and a lentil bowl and maybe like a little bit of a protein. I have been trying to do more protein. That was one thing that a lot of my blood work was showing. I, for many years, was not a big meat eater. I'm still not someone that's like obsessed with eating meat, but I have gotten some really good sources of meat and meat that feels really aligned. And I always try to say a prayer and bless my food, bless my meals, bless my meat, kind of just to set the energy in a place of alignment with my body. I really believe, honestly, it's not so much what we're eating, but the intention of, how we approach it. So I always like to bless our meals as I'm cooking them, like for me, Austin and Zane. And yeah, we eat dinner. Nothing crazy. I will do my little shower prayer, take a shower, my face routine lately. I'm trying to think. I mean, I've kind of switched up my products a little bit since I've been on here. One brand, again, I have zero affiliation, Clear Stem. They have like a stem cell line that's like all organic, or it's like Yucca app approved for any type of acne. And I felt intuitively kind of called to some of their products. I also have an SOS spray. I can't remember who it's by, but it's literally called SOS spray. That one's 100% on Yucca app that I've been enjoying. I love my rose water. I'll link that. I have a bunch of living libations. Like sometimes I actually want to do something really like kind of romantic. Like I'll light a candle and I'll either listen to an audible or like listen to Superhuman. Superhuman's more of like my morning routine. I love an audiobook. I love like a cheesy rom-com, like goody goody gumdrops. Like I'm such a rainbows and unicorn vibe. Lately though, this past week, I went to Barnes and Noble and got like some good old fashioned books. I'm always reading like a spiritual text of sorts. Um, Lately I've been revisiting Autobiography of a Yogi, Yogananda, a book that makes me feel so at peace and safe. It is a dense AF read, not something you can lightly pick up, but something you could maybe, you know, peck around in if you feel called. Um, I audiobooks. I'm trying to think of something that I just read I just listened to One True Loves. It was okay by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I might have combined two authors into a name. It was all right, but they were making it, I think they already made it into a movie. So like I wanted to read the book first. I love just like a rom com vibes. That one I wouldn't say like bust your butt to get. However, I did just start the Throne of Glass series, and that's kind of a part of our nighttime routine is that Austin and I, we both get in bed. I light a candle, non-toxic, a brand that I like of non-toxic candles right now, Moxie and Grace, and light a candle. It's a really crispy candle too. It makes like a little crackling noise like a fire. That detail feels important to me. I have a weighted blanket that is so heavy and I put pillows on top of me and just like I like create like a burrow. Austin is like, "You're insane." I'm like, "I love it. I want there to be 500 pounds on my body so that I do not just drift away into the night sky in dreamland." I love the feeling of weighted blankets. Um, I get under there. I'm reading the Throne of Glass series. Just started it, TBD, but I feel like it could be a favorite. I went to Barnes and Noble, and the girl at Barnes and Noble was like, "I love this book so much, I'm getting it tattooed on my body." I was like, "Oh my gosh, give me all of them." Everyone that I've talked to is like, it's better than Akatar. I read Akatar. I'm a fantasy girly. Like, if you loved Harry Potter, then you'll like some of my book recs. I just love to get lost in a good book. I'm a voracious reader, have been my whole life. Super nerd at my core. Yeah, Austin, I will read like 2 weeks ago before I started the Throne of Glass series. Austin, he was reading the book Total Meditation by Deepak Chopra. We have all kinds of, he reads a lot of meditative text, and we'll rotate back and forth, like kind of a good way to connect with your partner at the end of the evening, because Austin and I don't really like, he works from home, but like we don't really hang out during the day. Like sometimes we'll eat lunch together, but lately we haven't. So at night, that's kind of like our just connection time. And he'll sometimes read a few chapters to me or a few pages to me before bed. And that's always nice too. And then some nights he's lucky. Last night he got Reiki from me before bed, which is really nice because I just gave him Reiki and he fell right to sleep. I'm like, oh, she would do that to me. um, no, I'm just kidding. He deserves that. But I did Reiki on him last night. Or sometimes I'll do like spa lady and I'll give him whatever skincare I did on myself on his face before bed. Just a few of our different routines. The one thing that he does do for me is that we have one of those Theraguns and he will Theragun blast my shoulders. And that is great. That is nice. That's his way of returning whatever to me. It's not really a nighttime massage because you're literally just getting like pummeled by a Theragun, but those things are, I do love it. I've been carrying a little bit of tightness in the neck from, I'm sure, just social media, staring at my phone, cranking at the computer. Always another reason why it's good to take a break. But yeah, no phones in the room, no screen time before bed, weighted blanket, put on my sound machine. I have an old school, like, little machine that my sister gave me like 10 years ago. It's a white noise machine, and I press play. And yeah, that's pretty much been our nighttime routine. Oh, castor oil everywhere, just under my eyes, around my eyes, sometimes on my belly button. For a while, I was doing tons of castor oil packs. Don't need them as much right now because everything's balanced. Hormones are balanced. Went to my acupuncturist the other day and she was like, "Are you having any PMS symptoms?" Because today's day one of my cycle. And I was like, literally none. Like, this is crazy. And honestly, I feel like castor oil really helps with so many so many ailments. It doesn't work for everyone. So I don't know. Try like a little bit at a time. Just dabble. Just put a little bit somewhere. But it's completely a, what is the word? I think it's non-comedogenic, meaning it's non-clog, pore clogging. So it won't clog your pores, even though it feels really thick, but I love it. I go to bed looking like a slicked weasel. Castor oil. I haven't talked about it in a while because honestly, I feel like I really beat it to a pulp where I just talked about it all the time. And yeah, like the amount of people that I would see out in public, like even my girlfriend's like, "You really changed my life with that castor oil stuff." I was like, I know, because everyone was kind of trying to like do a little bit less Botox, and I really do feel like it got rid of so much like inflammation in my face. It was actually causing heaviness. That was the reason that I was going to get Botox. So, whoa, mind blown. Anyways, I know there's things that I forgot because I have a lot of just like little things that we do throughout the day, but that's like a pretty good, I would say, like snapshot right now. I know I'm like, it's really simple. That sounds like a lot of stuff. And here's the thing, take it like a grain of salt. Maybe even if I just sparked one little tiny habit stack for you that could, boost your mood or whatever. But those are just things that I'm into and I'm loving. And I'm really trying to just stay kind of rooted a little bit more in my human era. I'm staying, just reading some good old cheesy books and keeping my feet on the ground and breathing. I unfortunately haven't been in nature as much. I'm still swimming in the ocean, but it's just hot. I think my routine will change again. Like I said, my routine changes with the seasons, and I think that's a good invitation for you guys as well. And yeah, okay, I'm going to close the Akashic Records. I'm going to say the closing prayer with all of us together. If you would like to join me in this prayer, feel free to just close your eyes and settle in and give thanks to your higher self for any guidance that came through. May this podcast always be a vessel for you to connect you with love. I give thanks to this journey for the support and wisdom. I show infinite gratitude to the keepers of the Akashic Records. For it is now that we close this door and allow our bodies to go forth and explore this new perspective of which we have graciously received. I choose to go forth wearing the lens of love. I give thanks to the legions of light for the gift of oneness and reception. I give thanks to the Akashic Records for the information and guidance. I give thanks to AG University's podcast, AG University podcast, Highest Self, for the joy and connection. I give thanks to my angels for paving the way. The Akashic Records are now closed. Amen. The Akashic Records are now closed. Amen. The Akashic Records are now closed. Amen. Amen. Anytime I pause, there is a part of the prayer that I say in my mind's eye, in my head. So if you hear an awkward, long sejra, a long pause, that is what I'm doing. I'm just saying a part in my head. And yeah, honestly, I'm surprised this episode is already, I'm creeping up on an hour. I was like, this will be a little mini episode. I can't wait to listen to it back and listen to any message or guidance that comes through in the Akashic Records. And I think that's everything. All of my announcements, all of my life updates, kind of where I'm at. I'm going to be sharing in the coming weeks an update on so I have some big topics to talk about, like around alcohol and life and just like updates and kind of how I'm living. As you guys know, I was in like just like stricter seasons, and now I'm kind of in a season where I'm able to really form some, yeah, just interesting perspectives on like what it's been like to remove things from my life, how I feel about them now, like really coming into this human era of, having balance. I'm really, really looking for a balanced life. And that's my best advice for you guys is just to stay away from anything or not, I don't want to say anyone, but like anything that just feels too extreme one way or the other. I'm like, how can we invite in more balance? How can we bring in that feminine flow, that masculine energy? This literally has nothing to do with how you identify. Feminine or masculine energy exists in all of us. It does not matter who you are, what your pronouns are. It's not that type of labeling. It's more of like we all have this beautiful feminine and masculine energy that exists inside of us, and we need both in order to, feel balanced. So just that's the era that I'm in. Human, grounded, balanced. That's really what I'm going for, and not being harsh or judgmental with myself or others. And I invite you to play in that energy as well, because it's a really fun place to be. And thank you guys for coming to class. Thank you for always supporting me. Thank you for listening to me. I love you. I love you. I love you. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll see you next week. Mwah. Bye. As always, I just wanted to say thank you so much for tuning in. If you feel so called or if it feels aligned, I would love for you to leave me a review here. I always love reading your beautiful thoughts and messages. And also you can find me at ANNAGRACE Newell on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And I will link all of my courses, AG University course curriculum in the show notes, along with if you're interested in booking an Akashic Records reading with me. My scheduling link goes out in my newsletter. It goes out once a month and it's completely free. I would love to have you there. As always, I'm a proud professor and you get an A+ for making it all the way through the end. Love you.